Many people over a long period of time have been telling me the same thing as a comedian. Veer, you will not have a career in India until you start doing relatable material. And that's what I'm going to do tonight. I'm going to do material that you can relate to and that you recognize in comfort. Are you ready, yeah?
Yes.
Let's talk about religion. Now, do you know how sad it is that we have to hide in a forest to have this conversation? This is how cults get started. I'm your Ma Anand Sheila right now. If we do this 3 times, I'll either be enlightening you or fucking you. I do not believe in ritual or religion because I believe in God. Much like I don't believe in bungee jumping or skydiving because I believe in gravity. So what does that make me, people of the forest? It makes me a man with lots of belief but zero faith. And that's okay, is it not?
Yes.
You can believe in someone that you have zero faith in. It's called marriage. On the flip side, you can have a lot of faith in something you know isn't true. It's called journalism. So I believe in a higher power. I pray to that higher power every night. I just do not believe that it is a religious higher power. In my mind, it is a female higher power.
Yes.
Woo. Thank you, ma'am. I wouldn't do that. I wrote the next joke. You're not going to like it. The reason that I believe that God is a woman is because she never fucking listens to me. This bitch doesn't do one goddamn thing I fucking ask her to do. But I do not believe that there are multiple religions. I believe that there is one God, and she was like a single woman. And she was just dating. You know, she got onto like God, Tinder, Ginder, Gumble, whatever the hell that is. And she went out on multiple dates with multiple prophets. That's how it happened. She said the exact same thing to every single prophet. Exact same thing, but because they were men, they understood different shit and wrote different shit down, and that became religions. That's all religion is, it's mansplaining. Trust me, I know what I'm talking about. I'm a man. You know, she's just dating, that's it. Every prophet just got one date. Muhammad got one date. Siddhartha, one date. Moses, one date. Jesus got a second date. Yeah, she was walking home with Jesus. She's like, I had a really good time. We should do this again. And he was like, okay, I'll come back Sunday. And then she dated all these multiple prophets and eventually married a Hindu guy and started a family. That's how we got 5,000 gods, alright? It's a joint family. No other god has a family. Who is Mrs. Allah? Do you know, you ever heard of Jesus' uncle, Suresh Christ? No, that's what it is in India. We're just worshipping a joint family. That's it. Which makes no sense because we don't get anything in return. In real life, if you worship a joint family, you can get like aviation contracts, railway contracts, electricity, cell phone networks. You get stuff back. Look at how uncomfortable you are right now. Every time I do a joke about religion, people are like, Veer, but why must you joke about religion? There are so many other wholesome and relatable topics that you can use to make other people laugh. My Gujarati uncle. Man, fuck your Gujarati uncle. Fuck your Gujarati uncle. I just spent 8 months indoors without a microphone. I just got it back. You think I'm going to waste it on your Gujarati uncle? The reason I can't do all the jokes in my head is because all of us are collectively worshipping a Gujarati uncle. Alright? And every time I do these jokes, people are like, Veer, don't talk about my faith. It ain't your faith. It's faith. Veer, don't talk about my God. Not your God. Doesn't belong to you. If you keep walking around going, hey man, don't talk about my girlfriend, I'll kick your ass. You, don't talk about my girlfriend, I'll kick your ass. But there are billions of guys saying the same thing about the same girl. She's not your girlfriend, buddy. So let's call it out. If you are offended by religious jokes, you are a human being. If you are avenging religious jokes, you are a fundamentalist. And does God need fundamentalists? Really, he needs you. You're the first line of defense. You're the class monitor that God was counting on this whole time. He needs fundamental. You know what would happen if you went up to Muslim heaven and you're like, I beheaded 60 people because they drew a cartoon of you? Do you know the first thing God would ask? He'd be like, what is a cartoon? He doesn't know. Did you forget that God made you and then you made all this other shit? So now, like, you explain Zoom calls to your dad, you would have to explain cartoons to God. It would take forever and you would lose your patience 6 times. Be like, okay, so cartoon, yes. So there's this guy, Walt Disney, and he drew like a mouse. And the entire world, they watch this one mouse. But why? There are so many mouths. I make 1 billion of mouse. It's just, it feels like there is a systemic instability in the amount of attention you are giving a mouse. Yeah, this is not where I was expecting this conversation to go, honestly. I just beheaded a bunch of people, so I don't know if I'm the guy to talk about instability so much or... I said, no, I know you're not the guy. I'm just saying there are many mouse. All mouse matter. Yes, I know. All mouse matter. It's just all heads don't matter, you know. It's really not that big a deal, alright? You drew a mouse on a piece of paper and it moved like magic for kids. You are giving Hafim to kids? Oh God, it's not Hafim. Look, it's just, you know, there was a magazine, it had cartoon, we all got upset. No, I understand. It's good. What is a magazine? God, look, a magazine is just, you know, a book with picture in it. Picture of a mouse. Not every book has a picture. Look, I have to pray 5 times today, alright? 5 times. Can we speed this up? Oh, you have to pray 5 times today, huh? Oh, I'm so sorry. You know, there are 1.8 billion of you, 50% of you devout. That's 900 million people praying 5 times a day. I listen to 4.5 billion prayers a day. But please, tell me more about how busy you are. Right, so cartoons. And you have all these organizations under the same evil umbrella, right? You've got Al-Qaeda, you've got the Taliban, you've got Lashkar-e-Toiba, you've got Al-Shabaab, which, let's be honest, sounds like a place you go to get food after clubbing. Doesn't it? Like, hey man, you want to go to Al-Shabaab? And it's crazy, and they all operate under this one structure. How do you hate cartoons but then replicate Disney's corporate structure exactly? Jesus Christ. You know, if you went up to Jesus, if Christian missionaries went up to Jesus Christ and they were like, hey, we went to all these other countries and we beat the shit out of them and now they believe in you. He'd be like, hey man, I never asked you to do that. I don't speak their language. I don't understand what these white people are saying. Oh, did we forget that Jesus was Middle Eastern, huh? Did you forget that Jesus was brown? You know, if Jesus was walking down the street in New York City, at least 5 people would be like, get out of my way, Abdul. And one of them would be named Abdul. And yet Americans put stickers on their car that say, what would Jesus do? Have you seen those stickers? Yeah, you know what Jesus would do in America? He'd get pulled over by the cops every day. And they justify their own actions. Jesus would want you to vote for Donald Trump. That's what Jesus would do. You know what? You know what Jesus would do if he met Donald Trump? He'd turn him into bread. Don't you ever watch Donald Trump and just get hungry? He's like, the election was stolen, we have to stop the steal. And you're like, yeah, I'm just going to make a sandwich, it's fine. Jesus would want you to have an AK-47. You know what Jesus would do if he saw an AK-47? He'd turn it into bread. Because that's largely what Jesus did. He just like walked on water and turned shit into food. Water into wine, rocks into bread. He's just like a really buoyant alchemist who sometimes dabbled in catering. It's not that impressive turning water into wine or rocks into bread. I know kids in China, you give them one piece of metal, they'll give you an iPhone in 20 minutes. And I'm not comparing Jesus to an iPhone because an iPhone has been resurrected way more times and way more successfully than Jesus Christ. Hindu people, do you know, you went up to Hindu gods and you were like, we broke down a comedy club because they did jokes about you. Do you know what they'd ask? They'd be like, what's a comedy club? They don't know. Now you'd have to explain. You'd have to be like, yeah, it's this place where we all get together and laugh. Oh, so like temple. No, we don't laugh in temple. Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot. We laugh at you in temple. You're also desperate. My exam! You're not gonna pass. You think Hindu gods are impressed with you? Do you? Honestly, I think they are. Just by what you drink. I think Hindu gods are looking down at a cow like they drank what? They drank the piss? That's the wrong hole. Were they lost? Context for those of you that are watching from outside the country. Sometimes some Hindus will drink the piss of a cow because they believe that it has medicinal properties. Shall I be honest with you? I tried it. Yeah. Just to write this joke, I tried it. Wow. And it didn't taste that bad. I just had like logistical questions. Are there Mutra experts? There are wine experts, aren't there? You give them a glass of wine, random wine, and they're like, it's got a fine nose, and it's from the Bordeaux region. There's a hint of lavender and cinnamon. Are there guys in India, you just hand them a random glass of piss? They're like, the cow was happy. And he was from Noida. I don't know. But some people will drink Gaumutra, the piss of a cow, because they believe it cures cancer. And I said, you do you. Well done. And by the way, in your face, Jesus, you turn water into wine, we turn piss into chemotherapy. All right, in your face. And these jokes upset people because we worship the cow in India, right? In India, we will lynch a Muslim family for eating beef, and then we'll travel abroad where there's a McDonald's on every single corner, eating Indian cows. Do you know that India is the third largest exporter of beef in the world? Do you know if you went to the White House, they would serve you your God back to you? I'm sorry, it is just so fucking hypocritical that an entire saffron religion is trumped by the aspiration of a green card. And let's sit in this silence for a second. Let's. If your faith is so rattled by a joke, is it really that strong? You believe in your God? You worship your God? Leave my jokes alone. That's it. Your God can take it. You think your God can't take it? I promise you He can. Your God made the moon, the sun, the earth, the wind and the fire. You think He doesn't have a sense of humor? He made you. Hey, it's Veer. I hope you enjoyed the first ever episode of 10 on 10. Like I said, this year I'm going to do 10 pieces of stand-up comedy about 10 things in the world, and you get to tell me what those 10 things are. So please leave your suggestions in the comments, and I will do my next video about what you like, the most popular topic that you can suggest. If you like this video, please do like, share and subscribe. My YouTube numbers suck. Click the bell icon thing. I just want to get enough people to watch my stand-up comedy. And if you didn't like this video or were offended, please let me know why in the comments. I mean that. I will respectfully take your feedback to the best of my ability. Stay happy, peace and love. I hope you enjoyed it. Bye.